Crazy movie news this week. Spider-Man's leaving the MCU. What are we gonna do? How about that Matrix 4 Mandalorian trailer? We got She-Hulk coming to the Disney Plus.
But forget all of that. We're gonna talk about the real news. Angel has fallen.
Woo!
The completion of the Fallen trilogy with Gerard, Butler.
Yep. Is it too late to talk about
Yeah.
It's the fourth act. I'm Alex. That's Phil. And
He's
forget all
out of
that.
jail. He got caught robbing Chuck E. Cheese with a BB gun, and he's in jail contemplating his crimes. If you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do, let me set the ground rules for you. We each have 3 points written down for Angel Has Fallen. We're going to take turns going back and forth. If we agree with each other, we get a little White House above our heads. If we disagree, we get a red X.
White House?
Yeah.
Angel Has Fallen is the third movie in the Fallen trilogy. It is directed by Ric Roman Waugh of Snitch.
Yep.
Starring...
What are you doing to me?
What are you doing?
Gerard, Butler, and Morgan Freeman return as the president and his trusty bodyguard. Danny Huston's the antagonist in this one. Jada Pinkett Smith, Nick Nolte come into the fold as well. And we are talking about spoilers. I will begin with my first point, and I believe that this movie took itself too seriously. I thought that there were some moments where it had
Nah, I disagree.
Okay. The movie doesn't do anything that I haven't seen before. There were a few moments of humor here and there, but they were few and far between. It was so serious and boring.
You gotta grow with the character. And the first 2 films, it was mainly about just him being a bodyguard to the president. This was a much more personal story for him, I think.
This time it's personal. Kill him.
It was nothing I hadn't seen before, but we can talk more about that later. I know we're going to get into it, so we'll just move on.
My first point is the semi-truck sequence. When, he hijacks a semi-truck to flee from the authorities. It's not like anything new, like you mentioned before, but I thought that was pretty cool.
I remember he was driving it, and the one cop car goes by,
Yeah.
and you think he's going to get away. The cop car turns on its lights and turns around, and I thought, ooh, here we go. And I checked my phone, I'm like, we're 40 minutes in?
Yeah.
Finally, something interesting's happening.
Okay, shut up.
But I disagree, because it was underwhelming, and nothing
How
happened.
could you say it was underwhelming? He was driving the semi-truck through those narrow roads in the woods. It was kind of like intense RVing through the forest.
Make a U-turn at the next legal opportunity.
He crashed the truck and he ran away, and I felt very underwhelmed. And by the way, all he had to do was stop and get out and run a little bit faster than the bad guys.
No, that's not
He was injured and he still got away.
Maybe you would show a little bit of like him hiding in the woods a little bit, but I'm talking about the semi-truck sequence, and I personally liked it, so shut up.
Okay. The use of swear words in this movie was the best thing about the movie. Every time they swore, I was laughing. I was entertained.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why people feel the need to use that kind of language.
I mean, honestly, I guess. I don't know. I really didn't pay attention that much.
First of all, Nick Nolte, every time he swore, he was like blowing up his forest, and he was like, no, they know we're here, and he was like, good, f*** 'em. And like,
Yeah, okay.
the best one is when the drones are striking, and everyone's like blowing up behind him, and he's on the boat, and his friends are just flying around, and all his friends are dying, and he turns on and is just
It's
like,
quite cinematic.
and look, picture the worst thing that's you've ever seen in a movie, like just the saddest moment, or just something terrible.
I don't feel so good.
You're all right.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Sorry.
Language.
I'm going to talk about Nick Nolte in this film because he shines like a star that he is.
Yes, I agree.
He's super funny, like you said about the swearing and stuff like that. He's great.
Yeah.
But then on top of it, the relationship that he brings and builds with Gerard Butler's character is equally as great, if not exceedingly exceptional.
He did bring pathos to the movie. He brought emotion to a movie that was extremely devoid of any personality.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that was where the movie started to get interesting for me.
As he just blends and meshes in so well. And that's like that's what makes this movie shine for one of the few reasons.
Who gives a goddamn what you like? You're just a crook on a weekend pass. You're not even a goddamn name anymore. You're just a spear chucker with a number stenciled on the back of his prison fatigues.
Nick Nolte was given a little monologue, and you turned it into a moment. I suddenly really cared about him,
Oh,
and he
so
was
did I.
funny. So,
Agreed.
Best element of the movie. The villain was underwhelming.
Agreed. Hey, Mike, we're best friends, even though I wasn't in the first 2 films. Can I borrow some DNA? That's obvious. I got
Lions.
some war stories for you. Cut to, hey, I'm going to kill you. Mad respect, though, bro.
I swear, did they not reveal him twice as the villain? There was I'm sure there was a reveal where the bad guy that took him out in the van was obviously a henchman of this character.
It
and
wasn't
then
like a reveal.
10
it was
minutes
like a
later,
breadcrumbs.
they revealed him with swelling music like, whoa, it's his best
the
friend.
first one wasn't like a reveal. It was like breadcrumbs.
I gotta say, in the final act where they were fighting the two of them, there was just no stakes as far as like these two are best friends.
Why would they be grilling? They're not friends.
Okay, that's not fun. If they're best friends and they have to fight each other, I want to feel that. I want to feel that hurt and that conflict, and it just wasn't there for me.
It's more puzzling to me how you can have such a good relationship with Mike and his father, and then you could have such a poor relationship with Mike and a friend, and it's like, if you just put a little more effort, you could have...
The effort came from Nick Nolte. If it wasn't Nick Nolte...
Yeah, I would say Nick Nolte showed up and said, I was like, I'm going to do the best I can. But I feel like everything else
think he was just be like, I'm going to be Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte definitely carried the weight. We're turning the... It's so bad that we're going back to my point.
Let's just talk about... Let's just play a Nick Nolte clip from anything.
This is by far the worst team that has ever sat in this locker room. I'm goddamn sick of watching you guys play. God damn it!
Every action movie tries to top the previous action movie, right? But this didn't do that. This just tried to grow with the story of Mike Banning as a Secret Service agent, and it's just kind of smaller scale, and it's nice to watch.
I disagree. I disagree. I don't need every action movie to be better than the last one, and I don't need them to be overly ridiculous, over the top, forgetting about, physics, whatever. I don't need that. But what I think an action movie should do is to try to be something more than what has come before, whether it be through the craft, through the story, through the characters, and anything really. The lighting, the cinematography. There was nothing in this movie that justified why I should spend my money on it.
I think it just bridges off the original two in a nice, wholesome way. It's a simple trilogy. Kind of chaotic,
That's the only
overflushed
thing that's
time.
drawing people in is because it's another one.
We don't get a lot of films like that anymore, where it's like you just kind of go, maybe turn your brain off. You just kind of just watch it.
I love turning my brain off. That to me is Fast and Furious. I know you're going to hate me for that. But I don't want more movies like this. It feels like it had no reason to exist.
It does have a reason to exist. The first one, which is basically Die Hard in the White House, was a hit with audiences. So the sequel comes out. And I don't love the sequel, but that also exceeded expectations as far as money goes. So they make a third one.
It shouldn't be about money, though.
It's not always about money, though.
The first
People
one's good. It was a throwback
resonated
to, like,
with the
90s Die Hard
character,
times.
and they probably liked it for what it was, and it knows what it is.
I don't know. I don't know. It's fine.
There you have it. We took the time out of our busy day to review Angel Has Fallen, even though no one asked us to.
You're welcome.
It's a 50-50 split with 3 agrees and 3 disagrees across the board. Now we're going to do rattle-offs. They didn't make our top 3 points, but we want to take a second to talk about them.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah. Again, building off of the lack of charisma in this movie, I've seen hospitals blow up before and with way more personality. Gerard Butler, you're looking old, man. You better get those Spartans. You need backup. Wherefore art thou, Aaron Eckhart? Wherefore art thou, Aaron? Wherefore art thou? Wherefore art thou?
Where is Harvey Dent?
Take 63.
Wherefore art thou, Aaron Eckhart?
Yeah! Mike Banning is a pretty smart and witty character in the first 2 films, and that holds true to this one. Especially when he breaks in the hospital and everyone's like, no one can break in here, and he's like, how did I just do it? I feel like the drone sequence where like there's 100 of them is just kind of underwhelming.
It feels like it's like, oh, look at how current and new that we are. But I've seen drones do like cool things in so many movies and TV shows.
Big deal.
She can't keep the drones. They turn into a little Voltron robot. They're awesome.
Throwing it back to the Nick Nolte character, that kind of reminded me of my dad, because my dad shares the paranoias of Nick Nolte's character with like the government interaction.
I can see this.
And Big Brother. I can see my dad like going off, living in the woods, being secluded, no internet. So that's for you, Pops.
Hi, Phil's dad. There you go. That's Angel Has Fallen. We're done with that. Moving on next week. No agree disagree segment next week.
No.
Because there's nothing good coming out. It's a dumping ground right now.
I challenge you to find me a film that got released on Labor Day that's memorable.
What we will be talking about is our favorite movies from 2018 that we don't want to be forgotten.
A whole 8 months late.
That's not 2019, 2018. Small movies where we talk about movies, not the blockbuster movies.
No.
Movies that we are afraid will be forgotten. So we're going
like
to go back.
Aquaman.
Not Aquaman.
Tune in next week because Alex is very excited for that and I am obligated to be here. So let us know if you've fallen for this franchise in the comments down below. Where do you want to see the next film go? Maybe falling off a cliff?
Yeah.
Falling down a well?
Oh, yeah.
Falling down a flight of
Yes.
stairs in old age because he looks old?
Have you fallen for us yet?
Oh, maybe he outsources and falls
Stop.
to the
Okay,
Canadian
stop,
Prime
stop,
Minister.
Stop it. Like and subscribe, or don't, because
You have free will and a YouTube account.